With me now in the studio is Justin Chenette, who got in touch with me a while back. And Justin, I mean, I get a lot of calls, I get a lot of emails. People want to come on and either promote a candidacy. But I mean, you're 21 years old, and you've been on the the State Board of Education. You've been a journalist for Channel 3, the TATV. You've worked with the city of Saco. Now you're running for office. You're going to be like a John Martin.
Well, I tell people all the time, don't let the spiky hair fool you. My experience tends to trump.
Is that spiky hair? I didn't even notice. Yes, but notice I don't have spiky hair. I don't.
I like your hair though.
Yes, well, it's just the way an old guy's hair should be. Anyway. And so, I said, yeah, well, come on. You're running. We don't usually have candidates in the primary, but you're running in Saco. Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, you said you were a friend of Barry Hobbins. Any friend of Barry Hobbins,
of course,
gets extra points. But of course, Barry just gave the Democratic response to the governor's address.
And Senator Hobbins started his political career at age 21, so it's very inspiring for somebody my age.
I figured that he probably did at that age. Although I remember reading that John Martin once got national publicity back in the 60s when he first ran for office as being the youngest legislator in the country. Now, you think that you're the youngest or you will be the youngest legislator in the next session, should you succeed.
First of all, on the Democratic side.
First in your primary.
Right. Have to get through the primary, which is on June 12th. So
and how's that going?
It's going great. The positive response in the community, I mean, we're knocking on doors, making phone calls, sending out mailers, and I mean, the best thing really is talking to average people because they'll tell you exactly what they want in terms of their representation. And so I think it's going to be great. We have the endorsement of the Democratic incumbent, Representative Linda Valentino, which is rare for a contested primary to have,
usually
the core
they stay
Democrat.
Out of it and say, they'll let the two candidates duke it out.
Exactly.
And then they will endorse whoever wins.
Right.
But now she's the incumbent.
She's the incumbent.
She's been
turned
term limited out. She's running for the Senate.
Running for Senate. And
but she's already picked
She's already picked her endorsement for my race. And the reason, because this is such an important election. We cannot afford to send somebody.
Why is this an important election?
Because what we have we seen the last legislative cycle? I mean, it's a mess. We have a Tea Party activist governor at the helm that has taken us in the wrong direction, and I think this is the election to really hip check that. Of
course, a lot of people like the direction.
Well, that's nice. Not in my area.
Down in Biddeford, Saco.
Well, as evident in the Portland Daily Sun today, I took the governor head on when in regards to his criticism of the MEA regarding their endorsement of marriage equality. It's in the paper, and there's a nice picture.
I know. I haven't read that the whole article, but
right.
What he said was, "Hey, stick to your education issues and stay out of the other political issues."
Well, I love how he's just criticizing the MEA. Obviously, they don't see eye to eye, but the fact of the matter is what the MEA is trying to say is that this issue is not about indoctrinating our youth about homosexuality or same-sex couples, which a lot of conservatives, ultra-conservatives, like to spin the issue. Like somehow when we grant two loving people the ability to have the same rights as another loving couple, somehow we're changing our education curriculum to promote that. No, we're not. And I think what the MEA is doing in a way is saying we support marriage equality. This is not about indoctrinating our youth. And so I think if you look at it from that perspective, you have a change of heart. But LePage obviously has a hard time with looking at it from multiple perspectives. He has a very narrow viewpoint, and if it's not inside his conservative box, he doesn't see it.
879 WGAN is our number, 879-9426. My guest is Justin Chenette. He is the candidate for the State House from what district in Saco?
District 134 in Saco.
Is it the whole town of Saco?
It's literally half of Saco.
The good half, the best half,
the best half,
better
of
half.
Course, yes.
You're on what is it? The what's the river down there?
Saco River. It's very easy. Saco River.
Yes, that is a beautiful river.
It is.
I remember doing an event at what is now the University of New England. I remember it as St. Francis College years and years ago. It is some of the most beautiful riverfront property.
Oh. It's beautiful.
That they
And
have
the
down
mills, they're renovating the mills at Saco Island,
Yeah.
and they're putting in condos, they're putting in apartments, they're putting in businesses. They have a college that's part of the humane system. I mean, we're really trying to reinvigorate our mills that obviously the businesses have left, and so we're trying to save our failing economy, and so that's one way to do it. But I love Saco. I want to be able to stay here, raise a family, have a good paying job, have access to quality and affordable health care. But the fact of the matter is, so many people my age are leaving the state because they can't find jobs. They can't find that economic opportunity that they were promised.
You went to Linden State College over in New Hampshire. Oh, no, Vermont. Sorry, Vermont. And yet you didn't end up a weatherman.
It is a great school for meteorology, but I've always had a passion for news broadcasting, and that has kind of morphed, that kind of journalistic accountability has morphed into government reform and holding leaders internally accountable for their actions and inactions.
So you must have known at a young age that you were going into politics. I mean, here you have there's a picture of you with Governor Baldacci. He appointed you to the State Board of Education.
He did.
Here you are doing a show in your brochure. You were doing the show with former Congressman Tom Allen, who now is president of something like the Book Publishers Association.
It's sad that he's not involved in politics because he was a great public servant.
We've had him on the show several times. I just saw him recently at an event in Portland. I think it was at the Portland Public Library. But I don't know whether, I think he works out of Washington, even though
probably
he represents the publishing. I guess he's like I don't know whether you'd say a lobbyist for the publishing interest. My guest is Justin Chenette. But when did you decide in your youth that you were going into politics?
Well, my stepdad ran for school board when we lived in Florida for when I was about 10 years old.
So you're not even from Maine. Now
no.
It can be told.
Well, I would say though that I've been in my district much longer than my opponent has. My opponent moved here 2 years ago, and so I feel like I've been at this quite a while.
Bagger.
I just feel like I've been at this quite a while.
So how long have you lived in Saco?
I've lived in Saco for 8 or 9 years. It kind of flows together after a while.
So you were sort of raised in Florida. Were you born in Florida?
I was born in Vermont. It kind of comes full circle. We were on vacation in Vermont.
I see.
Because my family had a house on Champlain Lake, and
up in near Burlington.
Up near Burlington, and so we were on vacation, and there we go. And then
so you were born in Vermont.
Born in Vermont,
but that's almost like Nelson Rockefeller was born in Boothbay Harbor, but he was a New Yorker. His parents,
right.
They were Rockefellers summering in Seal Harbor.
Right. But I think my heart has always been in Maine. We vacationed here every summer with the family, have a big family reunion here. And so I think I've always had that connection to Maine, and I love Maine. I mean, I think it's a great place to live. It's just, it's becoming less and less accessible for younger people to live here. And if we lose more and more young people, we're not going to be able to hold on to the social services to provide people and a wide-ranging demographic. And we're seeing that last legislative cycle with the budgetary cuts, that we're not able to afford these programs if we're losing a viable tax base and a viable youth workforce.
Oh yeah, you seem to know, your issues. And what do you do now? How do you support yourself now?
Well, I'm still a college student technically. I have 2 classes left, and I get my little piece of paper that says...
You can't be commuting to Linden State.
I am.
You are?
Oh, of course.
Where is Linden?
Linden State College is in the northeast corner of Vermont.
Is that what they call the Northeast Kingdom?
Northeast Kingdom.
Yes.
Beautiful area. It's by you know where Conway, New Hampshire is?
Yes.
It's kind of that end of Vermont. And so it's about 3.5 hour drive each way.
Holy
And
smokes.
so for the past...
I didn't know you could drive that far, that long in New Hampshire.
For the past 6...
Vermont.
Oh gosh, it's rough in the mountains. But for the past 6.5 months, I've been commuting back and forth, campaigning half-time here and going to school, which
Unbelievable.
Which has been a difficulty, but it's important because I really believe in what I'm doing. And I feel like if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life, and this is a prime example of that.
Yes, that I agree with that. So, and are you still doing your TV?
I've had to take a leave of absence from a lot of my TV work on WPXT and WPME, which is I was a host for Youth in Politics for about 4 years, including...
That's where this picture of Tom Allen comes from.
That's actually a show that I did on TATV Channel 3 just in Saco. We broadcast to about 10,000 people. That was in high school. I had a citywide...
You went to Thornton Academy.
Thornton Academy. We have a TV station there. That's a separate show. Yes, we have a TV station that the students run. It's an educational station. It broadcasts over the airwaves of what our public access would be in any other town.
So, in other words, it doesn't go over the air.
It does.
Oh, it does.
TV, Channel 3, everybody in Saco who has Time Warner Cable Channel 3 gets our station.
But it comes on cable.
Cable.
Okay, so that's what I mean. It's not transmitted.
Right. Well, a lot of people, though, get Time Warner Cable, and so as a result, they get ours. It's the public access station. So you have been involved with this kind of stuff for a long time. It feels like I've been involved with it quite a while. I mean, I really started a lot of this when I was in high school or even before that, and I really have kind of hit the ground running in terms of political broadcasting and interviewing a lot of these political guests, and it's kind of shifted into asking tough questions to answering the tough questions to get the job that people really want done and done right. And so I think it's a natural transition from journalism into politics. A lot of times people question about, can you do both? Can you do one or the other? Were you really a journalist? I think you can be. I think it was hard for me, though, to sit on the sidelines to let a lot of these political leaders come on my show and answer questions. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, are you kidding me? People elected these people? I mean, it's really mind-boggling sometimes. It's like we have an entire Department of Economic Growth and Development in this state. Yeah. Did you know that? We have a department that's specifically designated for economic growth and development. Yes. Where is the economic growth and development? I'm not seeing it in Saco. I don't know what they're doing. We got to take a look at that.
I noticed one of the pictures in your brochure is one involving Mary's Walk, which we have helped.
Love Mary's Walk.
Publicity. It is one
great event.
Give a quick thing about what Mary's Walk.
Mary's Walk is all about raising money to fundraise and to really finding a cure for cancer. Right. And it really, if you think about it, cancer affects either directly or indirectly so many people in our community, not just in Saco, but around the state and around the country.
It raises now. It's a huge event in Saco. I know that.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars we raise.
We get material to help publicize it. And so anyway, well, Justin, the big day is Tuesday, June 12th. You're running in Saco for representative,
right?
And good luck. And I had to invite you on because you were so persistent. And I said, this he's not going to leave me alone until I have him on. But everybody enjoys that kind of enthusiasm and that kind of persistence. And I'm just, there's no doubt in my mind that you will go far.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it. I hope everybody turns out on June 12th, not just in Saco, but everywhere. And if people want more information on my campaign, they can visit my website at justinforsaco.com.
And the name is Justin Chenette. Thanks.